Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to another Tapubu video. This time I am following in the steps of Ironaya, who is playing Zyra mid. Welcome to the studio, Ironaya.
Hey.
Okay, let's start off by telling me a little bit about your League of Legends experience.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, I've played League of Legends for almost 2 years now, and played about, yeah, let's say 2K games, normal, co-op and custom together, and about, yeah, 800 ranked games in both seasons together. And I actually played several accounts to level 30, and yeah.
Okay. What was the first champion that you considered yourself good with?
30 seconds.
Oh, right when I started playing League of Legends, I bought my first champ, and this was Singed. I thought I was really OP because I always baited my enemies into fighting me and then threw them into my turret that gave me all the kills. And yeah, later I stopped playing Singed and mained Evelynn for a really long time. And I even played her in the first tournament I've ever played and reached the second place with my team in. So I felt I was really good with Eve.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Minions have spawned.
Okay, what is your ELO right now?
On my account called Ironaya, it's 1796, I believe, and on my other account with which I'm playing in the replay, it is 1650 or something.
First blood.
So you're a mid player
You
now,
have
right?
slain an enemy.
Yeah, I'm playing mostly mid all the time, and yeah, probably I also play some other roles, but if I have the chance to choose what I want to play, I usually go for mid lane.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how you approach mid lane.
I generally play very aggressive. If I'm not like getting counterpicked or have to fear level 2 gank or camps, which junglers like SoloQ do, I play very aggressive to harass the enemy early enough and try to make him use his heal potions or yeah, get a kill on him when my jungler comes in because he simply didn't heal up in the time. Or if I can, I'll push him out of my lane and make him lose EP and yeah, get the lane advantage this way.
Okay. So how often do you gank other lanes or invade the enemy jungle when you're playing mid?
That depends on the game actually. When I'm doing really good and have a blue buff or non-blue dependent caster in mid lane, I usually try to help my jungler when he invades or when he gets invaded. And I gank the enemy jungler when he's spotted by our wards and low on life. Yeah, I always try to gank him then. Which lanes I gank depends mostly on which side I play. If I'm playing blue side, I try to gank the top lane, and if I'm on the other side, I'll gank bot lane most likely, because I'm running right through the enemy jungle, so I am behind the enemies, and they are caught in between my lane mates and me.
So in your opinion, what are the disadvantages of playing mid lane in SoloQ?
Oh, in SoloQ, the biggest disadvantage of SoloQ, I feel, is like I can't play every role at the same time. Most players will experience some games where you feel like if I'm not playing all roles at the same time, all are gonna fail. But as a mid laner, it's probably that you are really, really squishy and can't carry solo unless you're doing a near perfect play. So I have had some games where I had 32 2-stats and then died 2 times in a row and threw the complete game because I just wasn't smart enough and got caught 2 times, yeah, and immediately died. Then you have the disadvantage that you are usually a burster to take out their AD or AP, and you don't have the constant damage to nuke tanks or to take down the tanks, which is better done by your AD carry. And for my personal preference, I play mostly those nuker champs like Brand, Veigar, Zyra, etc. So it's even harder to keep up a constant damage because caster mostly have a lot of cooldown on their abilities, unless you are something like Cassiopeia or Ice, which have really low cooldowns. So the biggest disadvantage is to play against a fat bruiser who stacks a lot of magic resist, because you simply don't have enough burst to take him down, and if you don't play smart enough, you can't carry it solo. But if you are able to insta-combo 2 or 3 of the enemy teams, because the support, AD carry and mid lane are not paying attention or really squishy, you will have the chance to turn the fight into 5v2, and then you can carry.
What do you think of the new champion, Zyra?
I really like Zyra. This is also why I choose her for the replay. She's really fun to play, and she's really strong, and I feel she's also one of the best balanced champions which came into League, although people always call her OP or call the outcoming champs mostly OP, but it's simply because they don't know how to play her against her. All her skills and even her passive are skill shots. So Zyra requires a good amount of skill to be played successfully, I feel. And if you feed her, she's doing hell tons of damage. It's just as Freak would say, tons of damage. But yeah, if she isn't fed, I feel like she under snowballs. She doesn't have this much burst potential then, so you should make sure she's getting feed.
Okay. I forgot oh yeah, you build Kaja's Lucky Pick here. How often do you build the...
An ally has been slain.
It depends on the gold per 10 items. I usually play with nearly every champ, or nearly every champ who has the option to build it, the Deathfire Grasp, because it's one of the strongest item, I feel personally. And I believe it's for some champs even better than an early Rabadon's, because you have a second nuke spell, or a third or a fourth. That's why I also always build it on champs who just have 2 abilities to do damage with which would be like Janna mid. You don't see it often, but if you do, she should have a Deathfire Grasp, in my opinion. The gold per 10 items itself, like Heart of Gold or something, I don't build very often, but the Cage's Lucky Pick is one which really benefit most casters of, and that's why I build it.
Okay. So,
An
when you're
ally
in
has been
SoloQ,
slain.
how do you respond when someone starts beating you in the lane?
If I get really hard punished, or because I overextended early and gave up first blood or something, just because I didn't play smart or played stupid things together, I usually play a little bit safer, farm up all I can, and try to harass all the time my enemy until I'm confident that I can instantly kill him with 2 or 3 spells. Yeah, if that doesn't work, I'm usually forced to roam a lot, and will push my lane out and gank everywhere. Sometimes I even let my turret drop to don't have to fear it's getting down, and yeah, just be all around the map, which is probably the best option to get your lanes snowballing, and they will carry you when you're really behind.
Okay. I noticed you said when you get behind, you like to roam around instead of just trying to stay in the lane and ending up dying again. I think that's a really good point for new players.
You have slain an enemy.
Anyway,
An ally
what's
has
your
been
reaction
slain.
when the enemy jungler is camping your lane?
Oh, I really have to say I don't like that, unless I have strong nuker and the enemies are no high burst champs. If I get ganked by, let's say, Ryze and Udyr or something, or Morgana and Ramos, or some other combo which hasn't this huge early burst, I have a champ like Brand, Veigar, Cassiopeia, or even Zyra, which is really good. I do like to turn back and nuke one of them out, and if I'm lucky, I might be even getting 2 and punish them for their low damage early on. But if I don't get them, or aren't fed, or he's just camping me from level 2 onwards, I have to have a real problem, and most likely will not have enough pots and mana to out-sustain them or kill them. And if my burst is not high enough, or I'm lucky and my jungler ganks, I won't even have a chance killing them. And this is probably one of the biggest problems if a jungler crushes your lane. And in SoloQ it's like an insta loss for your complete lane, and you can't even roam all the time if the enemy jungler is also following you. I had this like 2 or 3 times, and that made me really aggressive against him. And yeah, that's probably also giving you a disadvantage in your general playstyle, because if you get aggressive, you overextend this much more, even though you are behind it, and it isn't simply logic to do so.
So what makes you rage in SoloQ?
Oh, that's a good option, a question. If I get perma ganked, this is sometimes making me rage, but it for sure makes me rage when I get counterpicked and I am already behind, and then the jungler camps me, so I get completely destroyed. When I just don't get a foot in the game, that can make me rage. And if my teammates don't do anything about it, I'll probably end up flaming or blaming the jungler, most likely, because he should counter gank. And yeah, sometimes it's better to just rage by yourself and don't flame them in team chat or something. This is not good for the motivation. You should always just flame them in TeamSpeak or something for yourself while you're in TeamSpeak with your clan mates or something, and you say, oh my god, I got such a bad jungler again. And yeah, better buy wards than try to not get crushed, and try just to farm up all you can and turn it out on a late game to be successful then, or catch them in your jungle and get an advantage back.
So when you're playing SoloQ as a mid, who is the best role to duo queue with?
That depends. I'm not dual queuing this much, but if I do, it's probably with a jungler, because he can get you fed, and when you are both fed up by his ganks, you'll be both roaming a lot. When I'm as I said, when I'm fed, I'll roam a lot to get my other lanes fed and snowball the game in our favor. Another good pick could be a top laner, because if he wins his lane, he can roam, or if you lose your lane and he doesn't win but can hold his lane, he can also try to gank mid when your jungler isn't, and in that case you can also get both a little bit of feed and gank each other's lanes.
Okay. What's the worst experience you've ever had playing with
Oh, that's a really hard question. The worst experience I've had in playing an AP is probably happening in ranked, and the worst experience you can ever have is like getting completely crushed. This is what really annoys you, and when the enemy jungler camps you, you don't have a chance, you don't do any damage to the enemy mid lane even, because you just build Mercury treads or something and doesn't get any damage at all. When you don't get any creeps, get zoned, and simply can't do anything. That's some situation which I would call is the worst experience you can ever have and make.
Okay. What's one piece of advice you would give to a mid lane player?
Because it's a one-on-one lane, I would practice a 1v1 situation a lot. I feel like 1 vs 1 training is the best you can do. I myself played almost 2 months only 1 vs 1 with random champs, and I got so practiced on playing every single champ in mid lane and how to handle any champ, even though I had to play a low DPS against a high DPS hard counter, and this made me extremely strong. For example, a time ago I played against M5 in Go for LOL on the EU West server. This was about 1 week before they won. I believe it was IEM Kiev, and we were composed of a team with an average of 1400 elo or something. And I myself didn't play this at this much higher score. Had like 1550 or something and on elo. And yeah, the enemies had all 2.2k elo in average. And yeah, most players say Alex Ich is one of the best AP players. I grant him that he's a very strong one and he has an incredible good team play. But because I think because I had this much 1 vs 1 experience, I was able to kill him for first blood in 3 minutes. Without my jungler's help, although he counter-picked me. And yeah, probably he didn't play serious because I was just 1550 elo noob. And yeah, but I believe the 1 vs 1 training is really good. Just 2 weeks ago I played against Team Millennium, which is currently place 7 on the Challenger circuit in Europe, and their mid lane also had 2.3k elo. Just to draw that elo doesn't say anything. I was about 1600 by that time, and I also won my lane easily. I even dominated their looks so hard that they came ganking me with 4 people, and I even took out 2 people because they dove me under turret, and I just CC'd them and bursted them down. So 1 vs 1 training can help you to to win this 1 vs 1 situations, 1 vs 2 and 1 vs 3 situations if even their support or top laner come and gank you. And this is what I would practice as a aspiring mid lane player, because you can't be good enough in 1 vs 1 lane. If you win your lane by CS, it's okay, but if you crush your lane like zoning him from CS and EP, it's way better use for your team.
Okay, that's really interesting. I've always kind of liked the idea of training with 1v1. It's good to know that that really does help. So, tell me a little about what you think of SoloQ versus your Premade rank like you're doing in this game. What's the biggest difference between SoloQ and Premade?
The biggest difference is probably the communication. I always try in SoloQ to get the mates of my team in TeamSpeak, because you can just talk easily and don't have to write, don't have to use this much pings, and if you explain what you want to do in the next team fight, it's so easy. In team fights, you can just say we focus this one, and you say now go, and like 3 people always all fire out their nukes at the same time, and one enemy is just instantly dead. This is the biggest advantage you can have over the enemy team, I believe, because if you have the communication, my goodness, you will win your game like with 20% plus or something. And in a composed team like I'm doing in the ranked, it's so easy because of this communication.
Are there any things you like better about SoloQ and Premade?
You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
SoloQ, it's just, yeah, it's hard. It's kind of hard, I believe. It's harder to get elo than with a Premade team. Premade teams just need to practice a lot. If you have a good team play and one person makes the announces and all follow up, it's really easy to climb in ladder. But in SoloQ you have to be a good team leader or good team player if someone else making the calls. And it's harder to win in SoloQ than in a composed team, I believe.
What do you think it takes?
So it's a good challenge.
To make a good SoloQ player?
A good SoloQ player should be able to lead a team or to be a good team player. When I'm leading a team, if it's composed or not, or if I'm just inviting random mates to play 5 versus 5 and no one listens to your calls, I get really angry about it. Because you know what you want as a team leader, and you want to win this fight this way or that way. And if they follow, you will most likely end up getting a huge lot of kills. Some fights you will end out 5-0 and take 3 Baron, 2 turrets or inhibs, and yeah.
Okay. It looks like they're about to surrender now, but so I guess that's all the time we've got. Thank you very much for being here in the studio today, and I should have this video up sometime tomorrow.
Oh,
And
thank you
thank you to
too.
my viewers for watching.